Have you ever wanted to paint something really impressive but didn't think you were good enough or didn't have the painting skills needed to create it? If so, stay tuned. You're going to absolutely love this project. I'm going to share some simple tricks, tips, and techniques that are mind-blowingly simple. The results are going to be amazing, impressive, and breathtaking. So grab your brushes and let's get started. I'm using an MDF surface, candy canes, and a stencil, and I've popped a link in the description below so you can check that out. I'm also using the Folk Art chalk paint, which is absolutely wonderful. I love it because one application will definitely cover it extremely well, so you don't have to be fussy and spend a lot of time on painting. I've listed the colors that I used below, and I believe there's only 4 or 5 different colors. After I put the first coat on, just make sure it's nice and even, and I do use long strokes. Give it a quick sand with sandpaper just to buff up those edges. And I've loaded the toe of I'm using a 3/4 inch angle or a flat woodwork with Java, and I'm just kind of putting it heavily around the edges and then just lightly across the center. I'll take a damp paper towel and just kind of buff it. Gives it that aged effect. Position the stencil, and I'm using my number 4 Spectacular stencil brush. If you want a brush for perfect stenciling, be sure to check out the Spectacular stencil brushes. They have a soft bristle, and if you're using the chalky paint, oh my goodness, one coat is going to be absolutely beautiful, even on this darker background. And you can see I'm using one of my painter's tools. I just like to use these because I could tape off so I don't over stencil, but I can just pop those stencils in and just kind of stencil around it. It just makes it a little bit easier for me, and I don't have to mess with the tape, putting it on, taking it off. Now, when you do load your stencil brush, make sure that you load it well, and then just brush it over a paper towel to remove excess paint. That way you won't get all that extra paint smushed under the stencil, and that's always what causes problems. So if you have trouble with uneven edges, you've just overloaded your brush. Simple trick, just don't try to go too fast or overload it, because it will end up causing more problems than if you take your time. Make sure your brush is correctly loaded. It's as simple as that. There's no talent needed. It's just a little matter of being patient and vigilant on how your brush is being loaded. And every time, I guarantee you will have perfect edges. One thing nice about this project, because it's a little bit rustic, even if it doesn't come out perfectly on the stenciling, it's okay, because we're gonna kind of distress it a little bit, and it all works together. This is absolutely perfect if you're unsure about creating a project that's gonna look fantastic. Now I switched over to black to do the Santa and the reindeer. If you're not into Santa and reindeer, you can easily leave that off and then just pop a few snowflakes in. Even though you're using a stencil, you don't have to use it as it is. You can take parts off, move parts around. It's super easy to manipulate it and kind of customize it the way you want it. I'm using a little bit of green to stencil in that garland, and I thought it needed that pop of color. Lift it up, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Now, if you want it to look professional, what you can do is take a little liner brush, load it with your paint, and I'm going in just to fill in those bridges. The bridges are the part of the stencil that keeps the letters all connected. So if you didn't have the bridges, the center of the O would fall out. Because you're using the chalk paint, you only need one coverage with the paint to stencil. Likewise, when you're touching up the bridges, just be careful about applying it. Don't overload your brush. Just take your time and fill those little bridges in. Oh my goodness, it will look hand painted. The chalk paint is just a little heavier bodied, and it absolutely gives wonderful results. So this is not a talent project. This is just, maybe we want to say common sense. You know, do the things that's going to make it look a little bit better and take your time. Now, I did go in on the Santa and do the little reins that connect the reindeer and the little sleigh runners just to make that look a little more hand painted. And then on the little swirls, we're going to go in and connect all of those. Just that little bit. Wow, what a difference that makes. It goes from being stenciled, and there's a lot of times I kind of like that stenciled look, but for this I connected it and it looks like it's beautifully hand painted. I just went back and loaded my brush with the green because I already have that in there. I know where it goes, so I'm just basically top coating it. So I put a little bit of paint on my brush, push down, and pull it back, and it creates that cute little leaf. And it will no longer look stenciled. It will look like it is hand painted, which actually it is hand painted at this point. Don't worry about perfection. This is going to look like it's hand painted, so just eliminate that thought of being perfect and just pop those little leaves in there. Again, when I say pop them in, it doesn't mean do it fast. Have good control on your brush. Stay on the tip of your brush. Make sure that it's not overloaded, and it's just going to be absolutely fantastic. I did decide to go back and just kind of top coat that center branch on that, and you can see what a difference that makes. It's always a little bit of paint makes a big difference, and it's so evident on this. So just take your time. If your paint is not flowing well off your brush, add a little bit of water to it and makes it just flow a little bit better. And then I thought it needed a little red berry in there, so I used my stylus just to dip dot. Now this is where it gets really fun. I took some of that Java, which is the dark brown paint, and I thinned it down. And I am painting what I call a drop shadow, and it's just to the right and along the bottom side of all the letters. This is going to create a beautiful 3D effect. This paint is transparent, so think of it as a shadow. When you see your shadow on the ground, it's transparent, it's not solid. So thin this paint down. It's just really soupy, almost ink-like. And I'm just putting that on the right side and down across the bottom. It's just a hint of color, but wow, what a difference this makes. This will truly elevate the results and make them extremely impressive. If you're not sure what to do on a project to add that wow factor and you have lettering in there, this always makes a big difference. Now I did go back and connect those letters on the Open Daily, but I saw that I missed a couple, so I do go back and connect those in. And I don't know, every time I connect the bridges, I always seem like I miss something. So if you do the drop shadow on the lettering, it'll stand out. I decided to go back and I just put a little bit of the white, and this is sheepskin, I believe. And I'm just going to kind of put it along the bottom of those leaves, and this is what makes them pop. Now we have that color on the candy canes and the Open Daily, but look how much that makes it stand out. And it's not the same on each one. I'm just kind of adding a little touch of color and a little bit down the center. I didn't do a continuous line, just kind of pop that in there. And I thought it would be fun to do little dip dots on the letters. Dip dots always add a bit of whimsy. Don't overdo it. Just a few is usually all it needs. I did add too many on, I kind of got carried away, and I went back and took some of them out. So even if you put some in and you decide later, I don't think I want that many, it's so easy to go back and fix it. So never think that you're at the point where it can't be fixed. Everything in painting can be fixed. Now look at those letters. The candy cane lettering just absolutely stands out. Those little dots truly give it a hand painted effect, and with that drop shadow, it's just absolutely beautiful. Just going to base coat the candy canes. I start in the middle and work toward the edges. That will help eliminate any paint from running down the sides. And it's nice to keep those side edges clean. So if you're careful on how the paint is applied, it will eliminate that concern. So just take your time, put it on nice and smooth. To add the stripes, I didn't want to worry about painting, overpainting the red on the background candy cane, so I just put some painter's tape in there. That way it masks off both edges, and I could have taken my time and painted it, but you know, it's so easy to use I call them painting tools, to help make you look good. So take advantage. If you're not good at straight lines, use tape, use whatever you need to use to make yourself look good. Now I did let that dry really well, and then I just put the tape the other way and covered that up so that I wouldn't get paint on the front one. And I did kind of go in and just do it with my brush, but you see how it just takes a while. So it's just so much easier to put that tape on there and not have to worry about it. And I do kind of scoot on the side of my brush to pull those straight lines down on the angled, where they are a little wider on the top. Now I loaded my Epic script liner, and this is just a real fine liner with red paint, and it didn't flow on very well. That just meant I needed a little bit more moisture in my brush. So I mixed a little bit of water in with the paint. And if you're using the chalk paint, it's a little thicker bodied paint, so just be aware of that. And it's super easy to work with. I love the opacity. It just eliminates all that worry about going back and adding a couple extra coats. This project truly did not take much time at all. I wanted to go around the edges and add a little bit of shading. I should have sanded this first. I didn't think about it until after I did the shading, but I would left that on there so you could see how I go back and just work around that, because it did not make a difference on the end project. And you can see how I thin the paint down. I've just got a little bit of paint on the one side, the tip of my brush, a lot of water, and I'm just scooting it around the outer edge. I'm not worried about it being perfect and smooth, because I know I want this to be rustic. Make sure that I get that shading in between where the candy canes overlap each other, and it just takes a little bit of time, but again, this adds so much, and it really makes a huge difference, just that little bit of paint. Once I get that on there, dry it really well, and then I realized I forgot to sand it. Now when I sand it, I found out if I hold it in my hand, I had trouble sanding it, so I laid it flat on the table and I just sanded those sharp edges, made them just kind of roundish. And it's going to take off a lot of that shading I just did, but I can go back and touch it up, and because I'm really just sanding those outer edges, it's going to make that shading a little bit darker on those outer edges, and you can see how quickly I can go back and just kind of touch that up. Now, had I done that in the first place, I wouldn't have had to do it twice. So either way, it's not a big deal. It's very, I don't know if you want to say the word fixable, but don't let it stress you out. It just adds maybe even a little bit more distressing. After I get that all shaded, going in now with a little bit of that white, and I'm just going to add a highlight right down the middle of those. And look at what a difference that makes. Oh my goodness. makes those candy canes look so round with that shading. Perfect. Seriously, it did not take much time at all. Using a snowflake from my Sparkle Pal, which is one of my painter's tools, and stenciling that in. After I did this, I realized that there are little snowflakes on the stencil that I could have used. If you noticed, I did position the candy canes, and that gave me a good idea of where to place the snowflakes. You can just take a white pencil or chalk pencil and mark it as well. But that way I won't have any snowflakes behind the candy canes. It's not going to take much, just enough to kind of break up that background area, adds a little bit of brightness. I did splatter the background with the white, but for some reason the camera was not on. I thinned the paint down to an ink-like consistency and just used a splatter brush, or you could use a toothbrush. After I did that, it was very lightly splattered, so I thought it needed a little more intensive snowfall. So I just picked up a little bit on the tip of my stylus. If you don't have a stylus, you can use a pencil or the handle end of a small paintbrush. Just add some dip dots around. Now I haven't secured my candy canes yet, but I laid them there for placement just so I know where to put snowflakes. And I kind of stayed away from the lettering. I didn't want that to become too busy. So that is all of the painting. And once again, when I made the bow, the camera was off. The bow part is very simple. I just used some scraps of homespun, some little short pieces of ribbon, and I tied it all together with jute. Added a couple sprigs of greenery, and these are just snippets that I had off of the tip of some other Christmas decorations. Just a couple little sprigs. Now on the center of the bow, to cover up where it was tied together, I did put a rusty tin jingle bell, but it didn't look very good. So I just took my finger and I tapped some of that white chalk paint on the jingle bell. It was perfect because it still left it rather rustic, and it brightened up the center of it very nicely. Add a few little berries in it, and I glued everything with hot glue. It's just a simple little bow, but gosh, it adds so much Christmas charm. I love how this turned out. It almost feels nostalgic. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope my tips give you confidence to paint like a pro and add a little rustic holiday magic to your creations. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so you don't miss out on upcoming tutorials. I look forward to our next painting adventure together, and remember, a little bit of paint makes a big difference.